What's going on, everybody? My name is Sir Medieval, and today we're going to be playing some Universim. I've been playing this one all night long. It's been super addicting, and it's probably one of the most enjoyable survival, well, I guess you can just call it like a city survival game that I've played so far. It's kind of difficult to describe what it is exactly because it doesn't function like your usual city builder. Like most of the time, if you have a city builder or RTS, you have to control your characters or control your people that you have or whatever, but these ones actually adapt on their own. It's kind of similar to another game that I played a while back. I don't remember what the name of it was. Might have been Planetary Annihilation, but I don't think it is. But they actually act on their own behalf. They actually learn by themselves, and it's really cool because you can start off by building the actual structures and things like that, except the housing ones. Those ones they actually build on their own, and it upgrades over time for the civilization. And there's all kinds of different, conflicting, basically like tornadoes and meteors and all kinds of natural disasters that you have to deal with. And I've actually reached all the way up to the medieval age, even though we have like power and stuff like that, but it still calls it the medieval age. I don't know why, but it has been super fun so far. I really like the flow of the game, and the natural disasters, they're pretty easy to counter, I would say. If you don't have enough god power, because at one point I did have a bit of a problem there. Hold on a second. Let me see here. Own personal weapons. Yeah, they can also vote for their own leaders, which is really cool. But we've got a tornado coming in like 10 seconds, so.
All your buildings are falling down, falling down, falling down. All your buildings are falling down.
What the hell?
Creator.
Here we go. All right, celebrate. Okay, I gotta be ready for this because essentially I have to put a protective dome over the over the settlement, keep that tornado right in place as best I can, prevent it from attacking anything. Things are ferocious. But the last one that I had was the meteors. You can see where those are going to be dropping down. But the tornadoes, they're kind of random. So, yeah, I'm glad that I was able to see that before it actually did too much damage. But it's really cool the way that the Universim advances over time. You've got these little, what's called nuggets. And they're the populace. I'm just trying to keep... Sorry, I was trying to keep a look on this tornado. Holy crap, this is nuts. Let's go into the eye. Oh, that is crazy. They really got some attention to detail there. I like how you can kind of zoom in like this. Oh, man. I think I saw the eye for a second. Ah. Oh, it's gone. Okay, cool. Yeah, that protective dome really helps a lot. I mean, obviously. So you act as their god, essentially, and they worship you. Some of them worship you. They start off where they all worship you, like they all believe in you. But then over time, just like in real life, it's more of a thing where the more people you get, the less likely the majority of them are going to believe in you, kind of thing. This is my temple right here that I've had since the very beginning. And it does have 4 workers, but it's like pretty much only 2 of them are ever working. I think maybe, at least 2 of these guys may not actually believe in me at all. Hold on, let me check on my building. Oh, never mind. Like that just got destroyed. Well, the really cool part about it, though, is they've got this really big science tree that you can go through. I'm actually on my way towards engineering right now. Engineering is what you use to have your nuggets kind of start repairing everything, because most of this stuff is kind of like automated, and the nuggets will repair stuff on their own. They will go hunt food on their own. They'll go gather water and all kinds of stuff like that just on their own. They'll even defend your settlement from animal attacks and things like that, which is pretty cool. And one thing that I do like, hold on, let me check my happiness level. Okay, I think we're good.
Nugget needs help, Creator. I know agony when I see it.
What the hell was that noise? Okay. Well, anyway, as I was saying, what I want to do here is make sure my happiness level is at a decent amount. So let me go ahead and put this thing down really quick here. But as you can see, they're already You know, they're already expanding on their own. I'm not doing anything when it comes to this stuff. These ones I actually am. I'm placing those down, but the rest of it, like the resident stuff, they're placing that on their own. Now, if you do get ministers, those are the guys that you can appoint. And let me see. This is my main building. It shows the leader of the settlement and of the planet right now. And each leader gets different bonuses that they can, you know, use and whatnot. And then the town hall. Oh, that's what I'm talking about right there. This is the one I want, and I can appoint some people here. So let's go ahead and appoint some ministers, and especially a minister of defense. And then as time goes on, you'll unlock more slots for different ministers that you can put in power. And then I'm working on my law enforcement building. I don't know if they finished it already. Let me check. I just got my food situation in order because it's like a actual living, breathing world in the sense where the water that you know, kind of pump from, that will eventually run out and dry if you're not careful, like this is kind of thing. So you have to be, you know, very, very careful on how much you're trying to pump out of here, because if you don't, then you're not going to be able to pump anything essentially. And I think these ones right here, I'm not going to be able to pump anything at all because the only water source is like right here. Most of this is frozen over though, so. And these are what you call your god powers. I could summon my own tornado if I really wanted to. And what's cool is that there's actually other NPC villages and things like that that will spawn on the map. I believe there was a hostile one that spawned not too long ago, right here. So if I wanted to, and of course I'm going to do it, I could summon a whole Meteor Strike right on this bad boy. And of course it would start a giant forest fire, so I'm not sure if I want to... Let's do it. Here we go. Oh, don't worry about those wolves. Oh, we're just going to watch the show a little bit. Toasted them. Okay, well, there was... Oh, rest in peace. There's one of them. He's still alive, too. Looks like our happiness kind of went down after that. Completely understandable. I'm sure that, you know, there are some people that probably don't agree with what just happened there. Let me take a look and see, just to know for sure. So if you do something like that, it's going to essentially bring down this meter, and it's going to make it to where your creator points up in the top left here, those regenerate slower. So that means that you won't be able to cast spells as often and things like that. But you know, once you have a lot of them generated, it won't really matter. But what you can do though is the hostile Universims or the hostile nuggets, like you saw at that civilization. I could pick that bad boy up and sacrifice him if I wanted to. It looks like they have a recipe here that I can actually grab for myself. So we'll go ahead and do that. I'm going to let him build back up because I don't want to be cruel about it. It's not letting me pick it up. Oh, I hear the watchtower. All right, well, it looks like some wolves are coming, which is fine because my population's still doing okay. And then there's also another city that I've kind of left alone for the longest time that's been kind of an ally right over here. These guys are pretty cool. I like these dudes. They're neutral at the moment, so they'll actually, you know, grow by themselves as well. Of course, not as fast as my guys, though. My guys have got this going on. So essentially, that's what we're doing right now, and I can even change the season with the different god powers I have. Like you have a jolt of joy, make my citizens happier. I can, you know, put out a fire or drizzle a little rain over them and stuff like that. I could even summon a fire or like a lightning strike. And you can actually combo your god powers with your actual settlement. So for instance, if I use electricity, I have what's called a battery right here that stores power. Boom. And that's what I did when I first built that battery, because I didn't even need to actually worry about getting a power plant. I could just go on and use the electricity and fill that bad boy up myself. And then for right now, I'm going to go ahead and change the season. So we're going to go to spring. Really love the game. I mean, I really love the way this game works when it comes down to this part. It's really sweet. But yeah, I want to see if I can, get a little bit farther in the game before I kind of make a better judgment. Maybe I'll get to the industrial age and come back in a second here, see how things are doing in that point, and we'll see where it goes. First, I got to turn this water pump off. There we go. All right, and we are at the final milestone. Wait a minute. Lotus? Oh my god, I can't pronounce that. Lotus. Sorry, I've had a bad cold and cough today. For some reason, it's affecting my speech as well. At least more than usual, because it already sucks. But either way, this is the industrial age of the actual game Universim. Now, I don't have a satellite and space station quite yet, because that kind of thing is not actually available in the beta, because this is just the beta, of course. But during the full release, we'll be able to actually build this and use it to go into space, like to other planets and things like that. And you can actually, I found out, click on these planets too, and you can actually like see what they are, like ice planets and things like that. So that's going to be really, really cool to see. So we'll be able to actually go to different ones, and then I guess you can, set up outposts and gather resources on those ones as well. So that's going to be super interesting to see. I'm kind of curious to see where this game goes. But as you can see, it's definitely grown so much since we first started. I mean, it's not... sometimes I can barely find my main building. Oh, there it is, actually. Never mind. Yeah. I'm glad I placed it right there because it's, easy to see and you can spot that thing from a mile away. But yeah, it's grown so much since that point. I actually picked this spot because I really like the idea of living in a mountain. And I've always had this thing where if I wanted to name a village or anything like that, I'd call it Shadow Vale and have it live in the shadow of a mountain. But of course, this is no longer the shadow. It's just the whole thing is just completely covered in buildings now. But I really enjoy like how much this game can, expand from the Stone Age all the way up to the Industrial Age. It's really nice so far. I mean, you've got people that are actually driving cars now all over the place. Yeah, like right here, vans, cars, things like that. You've got a lot of, interaction going on within the city itself. And I haven't actually zoomed in a lot to, kind of see what everybody's doing. But one thing that's kind of fun, if you try to run into one of these guys, they're gonna, crack the camera a little bit, which is pretty sweet. But yeah, I do like, what we've got going on here as well. I will say though that I wish that the fish actually populated correctly, because it looks like they're actually not repopulating right now. What you're supposed to do is when you start running low on fish population, you're supposed to let it stop and start refilling. Well, I've had this one going for about, I think, the past day and a half in real time. So yeah, this, at least in playtime, I've played about 10 hours where this hasn't really moved at all. So I've stopped it, but they don't seem to be repopulating at all. But one cool thing that I've learned is that you can use the god powers to your advantage. So of course, if you're running out of trees, use deforestation. Plant a whole bunch more of those, which is really nice. And that can also help with your oxygen levels, because once you start building these very big industrial buildings, it's actually going to start damaging your oxygen levels too. Looks like we just arrested somebody. That's fun. But you can also, I'm not going to start a fire. No, thank you. Start refilling these bodies of water by using the trickle effect god power, which, just to kind of give a quick demonstration. So I have a water pump going right here. And if I wanted to make it rain right there, then it's going to start refilling that water level right up. I wish we could do that with fish, because it would make things a lot easier. Maybe even wildlife too, because not only fish, but I believe it said for wildlife as well. If you're not careful, then you can hunt them into extinction. Oh yeah, I've got an airport, by the way. It's really cool. I don't know if it's functioning properly so far, because I have it like over here. And you can click on it and see who's visiting, but I don't ever get any visitors. Or I guess they just don't like me. But maybe I don't need visitors because I've got a town right over here. And these guys are supposedly aggressive because they won't get off my lawn. You know what? Just for, showcasing sake, let's summon another Meteor Strike. It had to be done, people. We knew this was going to happen. Plus, they're aggressive. They deserve it. Oh, that's a hit. And you know what I just now realized? Well, you can actually build legendary buildings, right? And you get the pieces from these craters that drop. And I just realized, duh, we can actually summon these whenever we want, so we don't have to actually wait for a real Meteor Strike. Man, It's just that kind of thing where like with the water thing, I didn't actually know you could refill it just by making it rain down until I actually tried it and it worked. So that's just one of those things to keep an eye out for sure. Okay, that's unfortunate. What did I lose there? So I got a piece, but I don't know what I just... Did somebody die or like... I think I just lost a bunch of trees. Okay, nobody died. I think we're good. And man, this building is tough. Jeez. Yeah, next time I'm probably gonna, you know, put that up in the mountain area just to prevent that kind of thing from happening. But yeah, you can see the aftermath. These guys are kind of building their place back up and whatnot. You know, these nuggets, as they're called, they expand on their own. They learn and they, you know, evolve. Like they can go to school, and I have like, I think 3 or 4 universities actually. That's my hospital. Yeah, university. So I've got nuggets teaching nuggets. And you want to make sure to get these guys, you know, make sure that they have a good education themselves before they start teaching people. Otherwise, you're just going to be moving backwards as opposed to forward. Which don't take my advice, because I never actually do that. I never check to see who's, you know, these guys are dying like left and right. So can you really check them all, you know, to see if they have the qualifications? Just make more universities, and eventually you'll get a lot of people that have the actual degrees required. But anyway, oh, Artillery wants to trade. Sweet. Hopefully that did a good showcase of how the game is right now. I do have everything fully researched so far in the research tree. There's a lot of things you can go towards. You can choose between what kind of energy you want. So I picked the combustion energy because I wanted to be efficient. Even though, you know, wind is more based on, you know, if you want to save the planet kind of thing. If you want the oxygen levels to stay high, it's best to go wind. But I was able to get lucky early on, and I got some recipes for buildings that actually help with the oxygen levels. And for this part here, this is kind of how you can choose to go in terms of rehabilitating or throwing people in prison that break the law. So I chose the rehabilitation center. And, you know, it goes on, and I chose for the solar panels for the other form of energy, because I didn't want to go industrial for nuclear power. That would have just completely tanked the oxygen levels, and we would have been really screwed if we did that one. But yeah, so far it's pretty cool. I like the way that it goes. You can choose to either be a good god or a bad god. It's completely up to you. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully you check it out if you know, are interested in this kind of city builder game. It's definitely one of the better ones that I've found, because it does a really good job of allowing...
Except they're not very fun, and they're planning on eating everyone.
Sorry, I wanted to keep them talking. But it does a pretty good job of, you know, giving you enough to do, even though your civilization is expanding on its own. It's mainly the residents and things like that they'll end up building on their own, unless you have ministers. But yeah, it's definitely one to check out for sure. Thank you guys so much for joining. Hope you have a good night or day. We'll catch you next time. Later.